Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your wonderful company tonight. You're watching EBN Weekend Edition. We're coming to you live from Kenya's capital. The last weekend of the month of September. We're excited to have you tonight. We've got quite a jam-packed session. Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua continues to receive backing from a section of members of parliament, while on the other hand, there are those who are calling for his head, quite literally. So that and much more making headlines tonight. But first, the day's top stories.
I think we will go with the majority members of the UDA party. If the majority members of the UDA party are in support of the impeachment, then the UDA party itself will also support what the members feel is in the best interest of the party and the country.
UDA party threatens to eject Deputy President and Deputy Party Leader Rigathi Gachagua from office if impeached by members of parliament. Leaders continue with their onslaught against the Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who continues to hold tight. Blogger who was sodomized in Mombasa pleads for justice as Human Rights Commission's call for protection of bloggers. Your feedback is highly welcomed across our social media platforms, that is on EBN TV. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. EBN Weekend Edition kicks off right now. The UDA Party Secretary General Hassan Omar now says that if the impeachment motion sails through to the end, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, who also doubles up as the Deputy Party Leader, will be ejected from the party. Hassan Omar revealed majority of the members of parliament from the ruling UDA party have appended their signature on the impeachment motion, which is set to be tabled in parliament next week. Omar at the same time accused the second in command of undermining national unity, and if found guilty, cannot hold any position in the party.
I'm reliably informed by most of our members of parliament that many of them from the UDA party have appended their signatures and are in support of that motion of impeachment. I think we will go with the majority members of the UDA party. If the majority members of the UDA party are in support of the impeachment, then the UDA party itself will also support what the members feel is in the best interest of the party and the country. And in fact, should that motion of impeachment sail through, our immediate concern then will be to eject him also as a member of the party, because then you cannot be found to be grossly incompetent, grossly undermining the constitution and national unity, and then still become a ranking member of this party. So I think if I were a parliamentarian myself, I will find sufficient ground to impeach. In following up with what Honorable Nyakundi has said, you cannot preach the gospel of ethnicity, malice, division, gospel of exclusion, gospel that tries to incite one group of people against another. He has been the most catastrophic, the most insidious in terms of dealing a very decisive blow to the unity of this country.
On the issue of impeachment of the Deputy President, the motion has not been brought to Parliament yet, but if the motion is brought to Parliament, we will look at it, and if the grounds are sustainable enough for the impeachment of the Deputy President, we will impeach him. But if the grounds are not sufficient enough, he'll have another chance. But what I will say to the people of Kenya, because this is a matter of concern, the Deputy President has looked to be like someone who's very tribal, someone who does not want to engage people from other regions across the country. He's said to be a Mrima person. And as a country, we want someone who is a symbol of national unity, who will be visiting other regions and hear the problems of other regions. And
President William Ruto's right-hand man and confidant Farouk Kibet has accused Deputy President of preaching tribal politics, challenging him to vie for a political position in a cosmopolitan area like Nairobi County. At the same time, Kotu boss Francis Atwoli has called for the arrest of Rigathi Gachagua, accusing him of contradicting the Official Secrets Act. Atuoli, while accompanying Farouk at an event, said the Mount Kenya region is within the Republic of Kenya and should be treated as so.
Bei ya ukabila hatutaki. Tunataka bei ya mahindi iweze kuimarika, bei ya chai, bei ya sukari, bei ya kila kitu ya kumsaidia mwananchi hawe juu, ndio iwe bei sawa sawa. Bei ya ukabila ni mbegu ambaye baba askofu mnafaa kujitokeza mapema na kulaani. Mimi nashukuru ile muungano ya wakubwa ya Catholic, wakati karama ikienda juu wanakutana mara moja na kusema serikali haifanyi vizuri hapa. Sisi tunaunga mkono. Lakini wakati pia watu wanaeneza chuki na nyinyi maaskofu mnanyamaza, hapo ndipo pia tunawauliza, tafadhalini Bishop Kimengich, mjitokeze, kwa sababu sisi tunataka kuishi kwa njia ya amani. Ukabila ni kitu mzuri ama ni mbaya? Sisi wote tulani ukabila. Tunasema shetani afanye namna gani? Yes, hiyo tu. Wewe mwenye unataka kujitokeza kuwa mkabila, kuja tangaza hapo Nairobi kwamba mimi ajenda yangu kubwa ni ukabila, uone kama utapigiwa kura.
Na hatuwezi kukubali hiyo hapa. Hatutakubali hiyo hapa. Na ndio nikasema juzi Jumatatu, Farouk, ni lazima tuwe na watu wa kushika watu. Kama mtu mmoja anataka kupeleka watu kwa vifo, au arrested. Because hii sheria iko katika sheria zetu. Official Secrets Act, kwenda soma. Wewe ulipepa Biblia, ukadanganya Mungu, Mwenyezi Mungu nisaidie to run the government. And then you start contradicting the government policies, and yet you sit in the cabinet. You sit in the National Security Committee, and you create a departure. You should be arrested. There's no any country that can tolerate such a person. For the sake of securing the majority. Kiunjuri hiyo mlima ni yetu yote. Inaitwa Mount Kenya. Kenya, sisi ni wa Kenya. Mtu asituambie mlima, sisi watu wa mlima. Sisi ni watu wa wapi? Hata Kilimanjaro ni mlima wetu wa East Africa. Na bado shanzi sana.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua on his part has called on members of parliament who are planning to oust him from power to stop the plans and allow him work for Kenyans. While on a tour of the Mount Kenya region, Gachagua warned those planning to impeach him, saying he was elected through the same ticket with President William Ruto, and he does not feel that he should be ousted alone. Gachagua called on President William Ruto to stop the plans and allow them work for Kenyans who elected them into office.
Nimefanya kazi ya maziwa. Wanajaribu kunisumbua ndio nisisaidie watu wetu. Si ndio? Mimi nikisema watoto wetu wasifutwe kazi, nikisema tusaidie watu ya Mlima Kenya, wanasema niko na ukabila. Kuna mtu hana kwao? Mimi si mama yangu ni Mumeru? Nikifanyia Wameru kazi iko makosa? Wameru mnaweza kubali? Wale wanasema hamwezi kubali nifukuzwe kazi, muinue mkono. Mimi naambia hawa, mimi nasema Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto na mimi tulichaguliwa siku moja kwa tikiti moja. Kweli ama uongo? Kama hutaki Rigathi Gachagua, hata William Ruto hutaki. Si ndio? Si iko namna hiyo? Wangapi wanasema William Ruto na Rigathi Gachagua wakae pamoja? Wangapi wanasema wasitenganishwe? Rais, tafadhali, wewe ni ndugu yetu. Wewe Wameru walikupenda, Wakikuyu walikupenda, Waembu walikupenda. Hiyo rais, barabara watu wanakupeleka watakupotosa. Hiyo barabara rais, wadani wako vijana wachanga, wewe unakaa hapo na vijana hawaelewi watu ya Mlima Kenya. Hiyo barabara rais wanakupeleka watafanya wewe ukosane na hii watu ya Mlima Kenya. Mimi nasema, unajua iko watu wanamdanganya rais. Wacha tushikane tufukuze Gachagua tuweke mtu mwingine, na kwa sababu uchaguzi uko mbali miaka 3, hao watu ya mlima watakuwa wamesahau. Mimi ningetaka nimwambie nyinyi, hao watu wetu hakuna kitu wanasahau. My brother President William Ruto, hao watu ya mlima Kenya ni wangwana. Ni wangwana. Walikuchagua wewe na Rigathi Gachagua miaka ngapi? Na hapa Kikwetu wanasema ukitaka ng'ombe, hapa ile kamba inaifunga kama unataka mlima upende mtoto wao pia. Siko namna hiyo. Huwezi sema ati unataka watu ya mlima na utaki kiongozi wao. You cannot have the luxury of liking one and disliking the other.
Now, Democratic Action Party of Kenya leader Eugene Wamalwa has called on the Kenya Kwanza administration to put their priorities in order and serve the people of Kenya. Wamalwa asked President William Ruto to stop the impeachment sideshows against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua and instead work on reviving the Mumias Sugar Company, work on the universal health coverage and the university funding model, issues that are at the heart of the Kenyan people. Eugene Wamalwa also asked Kimilili Member of Parliament Didmas Baraza, who is said to be sponsoring the motion, to help residents from his constituency.
Leo tunataka tuambie Bwana Ruto, wewe ulitoa ahadi kupigania wakulima wa miwa katika kaunti ya Bungoma na Western na Kenya yote. Badala ya ninyi kupigania hawa wakulima, Nzoia ndio hii inakufa. Mnarudi kupigana ninyi wenyewe kwa wenyewe. Get your priorities right. And we want to tell you ya kwamba impeaching Gachagua is the least of the priorities you have on your list. Na hawa watu wengi ni wazazi wako hapa. Wanataka watoto wao wasome wakuwe profesa kama Joel Sindani. Ninyi umeleta sera kule university, fees imepanda, imekuwa vigumu wazazi kupeleka watoto wao university. That is the concern ya hawa watu. The model of funding university education that has failed. That is where your focus should be, and that is the concern of the people of this county and the people of this country. Sio mambo ya kuimpeach Gachagua. Gachagua akiwa impeached, ugali utaongezeka hapa Kimilili. Fees itashuka kweli. Wakulima wa Nzoia watapata mashini mpya. Hapo ndio sisi tuambia Bwana Didmas, stay focused on fighting for your people, not fighting the wars of others. Hiyo tu ndio advice nataka nitoe nikiwa hapa, ya kwamba wiki ijayo tuko na mswada wa impeachment wa deputy president. Na tunasikia ya kwamba mtoto wetu ambaye ni mbunge wetu hapa, yeye ndio atatumika labda kuwa ile kisu ambayo itaenda kumchinja Bwana Gachagua. Nataka niulize watu wa Kimilili, hayo ndio mambo tumetuma mbunge wetu kufanya? Mumetuma Didmas kwenda yeye ndio akue wa kisu ya kuchinja wengine? Sisi watu wa Mlembe ni watu wa amani. We are people who build bridges of friendship with all communities. Hatungependa tuwe ya kwamba sisi ndio tunatumika kama kisu ya kuchinja wengine. That is not what we send Didmas kama mbunge wetu wa Kimilili kufanya, na mimi nikimpata I will advise him. Don't be misused. Kuna mengi ambayo watu hawa wa Kimilili na kaunti hiyo wanatarajia.
Now, the Coast Civil Society Network for Human Rights wants the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, to probe the conduct of politicians using bloggers to besmirch their opponents. This comes amid a surge in rising political tensions in the port city of Mombasa, as netizens used various social media platforms to hurl insults at leaders who disagree with their school of thought. The political class were encouraged to uphold high integrity and to control their supporters not to abuse the rights of others. One Adika called for the introduction of the registration of bloggers so that their online conduct can be checked.
Wale vijana walionichukua 20 wakawa wengine 3 wako huku wameziba, 3 wako huku na 5 wamenizuia pale, wana nguvu, wamenishika, nimefurukuta lakini wapi. Huku akinipiga. Ikawa pale kando kuna vijana 2 wamevaa mask. Hao vijana ni wale, kuna hizi gari za kubeba uchafu, hizi za Mombasa County za kubeba uchafu. Wale vijana wenye kupakia yale magunia, wale ma street boys. Wale ndio wakawa wamelipwa. Mmoja akavua nguo, akalivua nguo, akanilala mpaka kamaliza. Wa pili akalivua tena nguo, akalala mpaka kamaliza. Nikajikojolea, nasikia maumivu. Baadhi ya vijana wanaochukua video ni baadhi ya vijana kutoka Kisauni.
The atrocities are barbaric and out of place, and we condemn them fully. It is something that should never happen to another person, whatever the actions that underlie his own conduct. So number 2, we also commend the investigations department and the office of the Director of Public Prosecution. When this matter came, we saw they took action timely, and people have been charged, some of them. We also listened to the police say that other people shall be investigated and shall be brought before book. We want to say that at this time, this is when cases are lost, and therefore it is important that they do thorough investigations. I don't think they should rush. They should do thorough and clear investigations.
Cabinet Secretary, East African Community, ASALs and Regional Development Beatrice Askul has said there is need for proper coordination of cross-border movement of pastoral communities living along common border of Kenya and Uganda to evade frequent conflicts. The CS noted that Turkana, Pokot, Sebei and Karamoja living along the Kenya-Uganda border recurrently fight for resources, hence the need to harmonize cross-border movement and come up with a cross-border program for sustainable peace and development.
The discussion we had today was between 2 member states within EAC. It's about a delegation from Kenya and a delegation from Uganda that was comprised of a high-level delegation. And actually this is a continuation of the earlier discussion of a memorandum of understanding that was initiated back 2019 between the Republic of Kenya and the Republic of Uganda on the pastoral list around the Kenyan side of Lake Turkana, the Turkana people and the Pokots, and then on the Karamoja and the Sebei of Uganda. Actually, those are the pastoralists that have been occupying the border side of both states. They were having issues around accessing resources within their own areas of nomadic lives. We found out that there were things that were not well harmonized in terms of them crossing the border both ways. And we realized that there was a need to really bring them together to realize time to conflict on resources, time to really fight each other was really far much not better. So we decided to form these negotiations that would harmonize their stay as they cross this border.
The Parliamentary Committee on Communication, Innovation and Information has thrown its weight into the entrance of new players into the country's internet market. The committee was, however, quick to note that it would vet the players to make sure that the law was followed and that consumers' rights and data were protected. The entry of the United States-based Starlink into the Kenyan market has ruffled feathers with the country's Safaricom company, warning that this could disrupt the market. The committee chairperson, John Kiarie, said that the entrance of the new player would lead to a drop in internet charges, a move that was popular among Kenyans.
But the most exciting partnership is the partnership between the ministry and constituencies through the National Government Constituency Development Fund. And we, as Parliament, have been able to even amend the CDF Act to allow for us to be able to undertake the construction of digital innovation hubs in the various constituencies in the country. And it is even important to also note that this partnership goes beyond just the construction of these digital innovation hubs, the partnership allows for the ministry to be able to do the recurrent, to actually take the tab on the recurrent bills. And that in terms of where we are at with the digital innovation hubs, is that there are quite a number that have already been established around the country. And in these hubs, we are seeing amazing stories, especially of young Kenyans onboarding onto the gig economy. And when we were told about the Tengele revolution, some people thought it might not happen. But now we are seeing young people working from the comfort of their constituencies, working for big tech companies, even abroad, being able to earn in dollars. And some of these stories are amazing. And we would, in terms of progress, the biggest one to report is that the NGCDF partnership has already gotten its regulations.
Senator for Bungoma County, David Wakoli Wafula, has assured residents of Bungoma County that he will dutifully do his mandate of oversighting the county government and holding the leadership to account. Speaking at a burial event in Sangalo, Kanduyi constituency, he said the governor for Bungoma County has to be responsible to the locals as development projects still remain pending. Wakoli has emphasized that the health sector in the county is a vulnerable situation, or is in a vulnerable situation, and it is best for the governor to work for the residents of Bungoma in accordance with the constitution and not engage in political wars.
I want to assure the people of Bungoma, Kitinda Dairy haitakuwa kiwanja cha siasa tena. Wiki lijalo on Tuesday katika bunge la Senate, na mimi niko katika komiti ya ukulima na uchumi samawati, ninaenda kufungua kifuniko kwa sufuria ya Kitinda. Kama unajua ulichukua shamba la Kitinda, shamba la bado liko Sirisia, liko hapa Wesangano, liko huko Tongareni, na lingine hapa karibu Fremas Bungoma, chuma chako ki motoni. Kama ulinunua mashini ya Kitinda ukauza Uganda, Waganda wanatengeneza maziwa na sisi watu wa Bungoma wanasaga meno na kuumia, chuma chako ki motoni. Munataka niwaandame? Mutatembea na mimi? Nitetee mtu wa Bungoma? Na kila mtu atatoa habari zake mwenyewe mbele za Mungu, siku hiyo inakuja.
So still in the same county, as the government proposes a bill that seeks to start the regulation of places of worship and put an end to spread of wrong beliefs, the Union of Different Churches in the county has begun to provide training for preachers and church leaders as one way to avoid them from spreading wrong beliefs. Speaking after conducting a graduation ceremony for more than 30 graduates in the EVC Chesikaki Church in Mount Elgon constituency, the chairperson of the union, Wycliffe Bondet, has indicated that the action to start the training was inspired by the wrong beliefs that were reported in the Shakahola area, where more than 400 people died, leading to preachers being detained in police custody.
Ili serikali wawe makini na wameendelea kuchunguza makanisa, ni kwa sababu ya mafundisho potofu kama yale ya Shakahola, ambapo anasema kwamba mtu lazima aombe mpaka afe ndiye aende mbinguni. Lakini masomo haya yetu yanatengeneza wanafunzi, ili wanafunzi wa viongozi wa makanisa na wachungaji wa kanisa, ili wapewe injili iliyo sawa. Mafundisho yetu inaweka wahubiri pamoja na viongozi wote katika laini kulingana na Biblia, kwa sababu haya mambo mengine ambayo yanatokea is lack of knowledge.
Now let's get sporty. Confusion left fans disappointed as the much-awaited Football Kenya Federation FKF League match fixture between Shabana FC and Posta Rangers was aborted after referees failed to show up at the Gusii Stadium in Kisii. Thousands of Shabana fans flocked the Gusii Stadium to watch the Glamour boys play, but it wasn't going to be as expected. This happens barely a day after the Sports Disputes Tribunal allowed Shabana fans to watch today's match after a ban by FKF Competitions Committee over a disturbance that happened at Ulinzi Complex, where Shabana fans are accused of vandalism. All right, so that is interesting. Football officials didn't show up, so that is something that we've seen FKF release a statement and say they're following up on to just understand what happened. But also beyond our borders, by the way, Chelsea scored 4 goals to 2 against Brighton and Hove Albion. Arsenal, of course, that late winner against Leicester City, and Manchester City drawing 1-0 against Newcastle. So things are shifting at the top, but guess who's at the top 3? Chelsea. So I wrap it up at that point tonight. Thank you for watching. My name is Cynthia Nanjala. Blessed Sunday ahead. Good night.